George R. R. Martin, the celebrated author of the monumental A Song of Ice and Fire series, has been both praised and scrutinized for his public criticism of HBO's adaptation, House of the Dragon. This show, a prequel to the immensely popular Game of Thrones, has drawn significant attention and diverged in various ways from Martin's original work. Martin's critique of the adaptation has led some to question whether his dissatisfaction reveals a deeper inconsistency between his professed commitment to his work and his financial motivations. This video aims to explore the complexities surrounding Martin's criticisms, arguing that they underscore a troubling paradox, a disjunction between his artistic ideals and the commercial decisions that influence the adaptation process. By delving into Martin's role in the adaptation, the implications of his financial incentives, and the broader context of fan expectations, we can better understand why his stance might be perceived as contradictory and problematic. To understand Martin's criticisms of House of the Dragon, it is essential to examine the implications of selling adaptation rights. Martin's decision to sell the rights to HBO was a significant contractual and creative shift. When an author sells adaptation rights, they typically relinquish a substantial degree of control over how their creation is portrayed. This transaction involves not only financial compensation, but also an acceptance that the adaptation will interpret the source material in ways that may differ from the original vision. By agreeing to this arrangement, Martin accepted that HBO would have the creative freedom to adapt his intricate world for television, which inherently involves changes to fit the medium's constraints and audience expectations. This decision is not merely a business transaction, but a profound shift in how the original material is handled. If Martin was truly dedicated to preserving the integrity of his creation, one might question why he did not impose stricter conditions on the adaptation process or negotiate terms that would have ensured greater fidelity to his vision. Martin's financial motivations play a crucial role in understanding his criticisms. The deal he struck with HBO was likely financially lucrative, providing him with substantial compensation for the adaptation rights. This financial incentive implies a level of acquiescence to HBO's creative direction. By accepting this deal, Martin effectively endorsed the idea that the adaptation could diverge from his original work. The financial rewards from the adaptation have practical implications beyond just personal gain. They contribute to Martin's ongoing engagement with the franchise, including potential future projects and creative endeavors. However, his public criticism of the show raises questions about whether his dissatisfaction is genuinely about preserving artistic integrity or if it reflects a more complex interplay of financial interests and creative expectations. The paradox of Martin's position lies in the fact that his financial gain from the adaptation deal contrasts sharply with his criticisms of the final product. If he were truly committed to maintaining the purity of his work, he might have sought to retain greater control or impose more stringent conditions on the adaptation. Instead, his criticisms seem to reveal a conflict between his commercial interests and his desire to protect the artistic essence of his creation. Fan expectations play a significant role in the discourse surrounding adaptations. Fans of Martin's work have developed profound emotional connections to the characters, plotlines, and world-building of A Song of Ice and Fire. Deviations from the source material can lead to strong reactions, including feelings of betrayal when beloved elements are altered or omitted. Martin's criticisms of House of the Dragon reflect this tension between fan expectations and the realities of adaptation. However, it is important to recognize that adaptations are inherently interpretative. They translate stories from one medium to another, often necessitating changes to fit the new format. By criticizing the adaptation after having sold the rights, Martin amplifies fan discontent and shifts the focus from a constructive discussion about the adaptation's merits to his personal grievances. This shift not only complicates the relationship between the original creator and the adaptation, but also exacerbates tensions within the fan community. Martin's public dissatisfaction with the adaptation can be seen as a response to the broader fan reaction, yet it also highlights the inherent challenges of aligning fan expectations with the practical realities of creating a television show. His criticisms, rather than fostering a constructive dialogue about the adaptation process, often appear as an attempt to reconcile his dissatisfaction with the reality of his financial decision. Martin's role and influence in the adaptation process are central to understanding his criticisms. While he was involved in the development of House of the Dragon, the extent of his influence on the final product is a critical factor. Martin's public dissatisfaction suggests that he might have had different expectations regarding the adaptation's direction and execution. Given the substantial financial reward and the creative freedom granted to HBO, Martin's ability to influence the final product was likely limited. If his primary concern was to ensure that the adaptation remained true to his vision, he might have negotiated more comprehensive terms or exerted greater oversight during the production process. His criticisms, therefore, appear to reflect a dissonance between his expectations and the realities of the adaptation, highlighting the complexities of balancing artistic vision with commercial interests. Martin's criticisms of House of the Dragon also have broader implications for discussions about artistic integrity and commercial decisions. The sale of adaptation rights is a common practice in the entertainment industry, involving a trade-off between financial benefits and creative control. Martin's experience illustrates the challenges of navigating this balance and the potential for conflict between artistic ideals and commercial realities. By publicly criticizing the adaptation after having sold the rights, Martin raises important questions about the nature of artistic integrity in the context of commercial deals. His situation underscores the difficulties that creators face when their work is adapted for new media and highlights the complex interplay between financial motivations and artistic values. In conclusion, George R.R. Martin's criticism of House of the Dragon reveals a complex and often contradictory relationship between his artistic ideals and financial motivations. By selling the adaptation rights, Martin consented to a degree of creative freedom for HBO, which inevitably led to deviations from his original vision. His subsequent critiques seem inconsistent with the financial and creative compromises inherent in the adaptation deal. This paradox underscores a fundamental conflict between Martin's public defense of artistic integrity and his private financial interests. Rather than simply defending his work, Martin's public remarks reveal a deeper conflict and underscore the challenges of navigating the intersection of artistic vision, commercial gain, and fan expectations. By examining the complexities of Martin's role in the adaptation process, the financial dimensions of his decisions, and the broader implications for artistic integrity, we gain a more nuanced understanding of the challenges faced by creators in the ever-evolving landscape of media adaptations.